rope on thin thread. As I'm saved by the bell, let's go to the drafting phase.
Alright, we have our standard bans, of course, with the Pakido ban as well as the Faramis ban by both of the players. Smellycat, of course, leading the banning phase for his team. Meanwhile, Mango will be leading it for his. So now we have seen Pakido being a danger in both teams' hands. So I think it's a great idea that they don't have this Pakido. But now the question is, if you're going to take out the standard bans and standard character usages that the teams have used across the regular season, where does that leave you in terms of how you're going to draft?
Well, personally, Kin, I feel that these are standard bans, especially on a Paquito, not only just in the hands of these players that are really, really dangerous, but you also got to think from this point of view where Paquito is super flexible, right? You can bring him to even EXP lane, you can bring him to the jungle, and that's one big question mark that you could potentially toss. That first pick, Paquito, is always very crazy, so you have to be, that's why Zion just goes ahead and just like, nope, I'm not going to deal with that. Stlk, on the other hand, bans off, you know, the common suspects. Faramis gets taken away, Archive gets taken away. I'm not surprised if Zion goes for the Bauman ban, but at the same time, you ban away the Bauman, you also have to ban away the Valentina. So those two are your should bans from the side of Zion, but now, with the Beatrix being wide open for Smellycat, especially when, you know, Beatrix is not really prevalent anymore due to the nerf, but, you know, in the hands of Smellycat, in the hands of this one-trick pony Beatrix, right, you know he's going to deliver.
I agree. I think now the thing about Stlk is we mentioned way before, right, that the win condition for Stlk normally fails if the win condition is only Smellycat. If he gets bad and then he wins the game, that was the downfall of Stlk, right? Because everyone caught on to that very early on.
Okay, now, I think because of the meta shift, because don't forget, when we're closing off the regular season, there was this update on Leslie and Lucian right now. Zion bans away the Lucian. Singh has been playing the Lucian for a long time and even going to ban away the Jawhead. Now, I played Jawhead, I faced a Jawhead recently. The Blade of Hephaestus on that Jawhead is extremely nutty. The fire missiles, the damage got buffed. So, you know, Stlk just goes away and denying that pick away from Zion. But, you know, this means that there's the big problems, right? The Bauman's open, the Valentina is wide open. Now Zion has to choose which one should they ban. I'm leaning towards the Valentina.
Well, let me add in one more item in there. There is a potential Eve as well. We have seen them. Stlk actually chose Eve, right? Of course, Chu has shown a bit of his Eve across the regular season as well. It has worked properly for them, and they know how to play against Eve as well. So I think they are very comfortable to take it up towards Zion as well. Zion their third ban for now with a Balmon. So Balmon, one of their regular picks in the regular season for the jungler.
Yeah, but Kin, that spells a little problem right now. Zion bans away the Bauman. This means that Stlk will be able to get the first pick on that Valentina. Once again, if you select the Valentina right off the bat, that means that you allow the enemy to literally control and dictate the whole flow. But oh no, Stlk, instead of going for the Valentina first pick, they went for the Grok.
Well, I think Grok is a very nice pick. Tanky, with the option for the barrier as well as the wild charge. It can offer a lot of utility in the correct places around the map. Now, the only question is, Zion probably have calculated this, right? Across the board. Now, we have seen all the teams play across the regular season. They know what's up. They know what are the pocket picks of all the teams that they're playing against. So I don't think Grok is going to be an issue for them. They might probably take fights outside of all the bushes as well as the walls around the arena. And one more thing to note is that across the stats that we have as well, Stlk is more aggressive. They take more fights in the game compared to Zion. So Zion is more than comfortable to wait. And I think this Grok pick could make sense for Stlk because Grok, I think there was one match where Fossa was playing the Grok and he was a bit stingy with his wild charge. Right, Guardian Barrier, yeah, sure, he laid down plenty of it, but he was very stingy with his wild charge, always waiting for that perfect one. So hopefully he doesn't play like that today, but we never know, right?
Yeah,
Zion as well.
Wild charge, that first pick for the side of Stlk, the fact that they prioritize the Grok does spell that they do have some form of idea on how to play. Now Zion will respond with a Dyrop pick and also a 1-1 pick. Now I think the biggest question that we also have to ask from the side of Zion is, where is Potato going to go? He used to play a lot of jungle back then. Back then he was the jungle marksman meta, but now looking at what Zion has selected, Dyrov could go into the XP lane. It could also go into the jungle, a bit of a throwback back into LY4 with the Dire of Tank Jungle. Now Stlk will select the Lilia and that Claude. Claude going up against that 1-1 in the earlier parts of the game. The 1-1, it feels more of a match-based kind of matchup, but at the same time, 1-1 does have a few benefits against the Claude because the 1-1 does have that stun. So you expect a Gold Zion to have a better gold lane as compared to Stlk. But once Stlk hits that critical threshold, once this Claude picks up the necessary items, for example, the Golden Staff and even the Demon Hunter's sword, then the Claude will come online and it will hurt even more.
Your team is banning.
Zion will go for that Karina pick.
Yeah, Karina's win rate is actually not that high across the regular season so far. So it remains to be seen why Zion is picking this. But I want to continue your point about 1-1. I think 1-1 has access to a couple of iframes, right? The moment she hits her stacks. That's going to be super important for Zion. So I can't wait to see what Vanix can do. Probably not Vanix. It will be Supergirl who is playing this.
Yeah, but I don't dare to actually assign a role right here, kid. Because, with Potato coming in, I'm not sure. Because Supergirl used to play a XP lane as well. Vanix could go into... sorry, Mango could go into the XP lane. Yeah, I think that could be it. I think the biggest question is Vanix and Potato. What are they going to, swap their roles around? Now, let's continue on the 1-1 topic afterwards, but let's take a look. It is going to be a Karina pickup. Now, Karina right here is very flexible as well, but it also cemented that this Dire is definitely going to go into the XP lane.
Yep.
But same idea as well. This Karina does have that some sort of an iframe as compared, not say an iframe, but like an auto attack kind of immunity when it comes into her first skill. Going up against Claude's Blazing Duet, I think that's one way that the Karina can juke it all the way out. And of course, if you build her tank, and you can also build her as mage assassin, so there's a lot of flexibility going out from the side of Zion on this Karina.
Yep, totally agree. The fact that it can negate damage on both sides is going to be something somewhat irritating, right, to play against each other. Sync, of course, with the Blackwoods is going to be very tough for them. If they let him soak up all the damage, it's going to be a bad mistake for them.
Definitely. I've seen, the Lilia just negated a Farsa Feather airstrike before, and, you just wasted one. You trade one ultimate for the other. But let's take a look at the bans, ladies and gentlemen. Zion bans away the Phobia's natural counter to the 1-1. Doesn't want it to be used by the side of Stlk. Zion also goes ahead to ban away the Amon. Now, Amon, definitely one of my favorite junglers for now. Super bursty, super unpredictable. Not say super unpredictable. There's also the survivability where he gets a bonus movement speed and invisibility and a bit of speed as he runs away. Now Stlk bans away the Lolita, bans away that Selena. Selena, they want to secure because Zion. Remember what I mentioned? They're very strong in the early game. They want to go snowballing from the start. Selena will be there to kind of stop it. Lolita in the early game, that earlier stun, the one-click stun is also quite helpful. But Stlk, they're all in the later parts of the game. Later parts of the game, when the Grog got a well charged up online, you set it up perfectly with the guarded barrier and also going into Blazing Duet. And also with Lilia in the late game, it's going to hurt like a truck. So Stlk does have a lot of zone denial and AoE damage. Zion, on the other hand, yes, the more single target if you actually time it right. Of course, 1-1 needs to take it to the air in order to go all
Your
out.
team is picking.
Okay, Supergirl with the Valentina pick as well. So Valentina, one of the champions we've seen so far that has made a huge impact across the games, right, across the regular season. So I think there's a wonderful pick by the side of Zion. Supergirl, if he's going to be playing this Valentina, it is going to be extremely scary as well. So here's the thing about the draft by both teams. They have covered the insurance on late game, right? Either team, they do have this late game insurance. They can take it to late game. They have some sort of early game ability for the side of Zion, I feel. And this means it really comes down to the technical skills of individual player.
Definitely. This is high stakes, ladies and gents. Both these two teams are, like I said, something easy to execute. Stlk kind of did, because all you need to do, jump in at the right timing for the side of Claude, Blazing Duet, burst everyone down, and everyone's happy. At the same time, True will be going in, definitely in the Esmeralda in the XP lane. Then, just goes in ham, soak up a lot of damage going to a later part of the game. Julia, on the other hand, that's a bit of a wild card, so there's a bit of an early game downtime for the side of Stlk. Expect Zion to have a better early game, because this Karina should hit the power spike even faster as compared to the Julia.
Yeah, it's really tough though. Based on the stats we have, right, Zion
Biology
actually
is
gets
Minecraft.
more done
Diggy
across
is
the
my
map. They
name.
have taken more objectives across the games they've
Okay.
played. They have taken more turtles. They have lost less lords compared to the team of Stlk. So this is something that I'm a little worried about for the side of Stlk. But Zion, I think they're playing to their strengths. This is exactly how you want to draft to get the objectives across the map. Make sure you snowball and perhaps don't even enter the late game phase.
Okay, this is a bit confusing, ladies and gents. Look at Zion's side. Potato going into the jungle. Supergirl going into the mage. Latte as the roam. Vanix, instead of it going to the jungle because it's taken by Potato, will be going into the marksman role instead. So this is a bit of a role swap happening. I think this is a huge gamble by the side of Zion. But of course, if everything's on the line, this is them saying, all in. This is everything I've got, and I want to remain in MPL Singapore.
Yeah, it's time to go big or literally go home. Paula, it's time to get it started.
Yeah, and we're going to get it started with some meta picks, I would say. If we're going to look at how they drafted, Zion did a great job of picking some key ones, right? Wan was actually the 6th most banned in the entire league, has a 78% win rate. The fact that they were able to get it early sets them up. Now, they've also got Valentina, very hotly contested pick. It's a 50-50 in terms of win rate, but it's got the 4th most picked, as well as Diggy. This guy, 66% win rate. It is one of the top banned heroes throughout the entire league. This is something that they need to be careful about. Now, not to say that Stlk didn't do a good job. They did their homework. They made sure that they got the #1 pick with Esmeralda. Still has a, 64% win rate, quite high. But are they able to deal with a team like Zion who clearly done their homework with his composition here?
Yep, that's right. I think now consistency is something that we mentioned about Team Stlk across the regular season. I think we talked about this off camera as well. Sometimes the draft makes sense for Stlk, but the way they execute it has not been up to scratch, right? Zion, on the other hand, had to deal with the issue of aggression. They play the early game really well. They can close games given the opportunity, as we've seen them close Stlk 2-0, right? But the issue is about their patience. So now it's about whether Stlk can execute their strategy perfectly and whether Zion can hold their aggression in. Can they play patiently and wait for the right moment to strike?
True, true. But if we're looking at the compositions alone, right, in a vacuum, let's take the players out of this. Let's just look at the straight-up heroes, right? Which of the teams do you find a little bit simpler or easier to play?
Personally, I think it would be Stlk's lineup. I think it's pretty easy, right? You have the Chain, you have the Falling Moon Star as well by Esmeralda. Paired up with that constant bombardment from the Lilia, it's going to be quite tough to deal with. Mechanically, I think it's the most straightforward to execute, so it could prove to be a difference as this game approaches, right? The second thing that on the side of Zion here is not that their heroes are difficult to use, but I think they're waiting for, they have to have certain things happen correctly in sequence before it happens. So
All right.
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but let's find out. This is going to be Game 1 playoffs. We've started right now. This is what's going to happen in terms of Stlk and Zion. They're going at it right to begin with. And Supergirl already has to just dash to safety. And 3 members of Stlk just kind of making sure that they prioritize Ordi Bambi to get some sort of farm here.
Yeah, so far it looks like no heavy aggression by either team yet. There was an attempt, but it looks like Stlk will be kind of patient at this point. Patience, I think, definitely one of Stlk's strong points, but also could be their deficit, right? They sometimes can be a little bit too patient and kind of miss the whole jump in the first place.
Okay, Stlk has patience. I do not have patience. And I love the action and Zion trying to initiate here. Just put a little bit of pressure on, make sure that, hey, we're going to fight for everything in the river, make sure that it's very difficult to get anything started. But speaking of getting things started, Mango right here, a little bit half-life. They're putting a lot of pressure in this top lane.
Yep, they have to be careful on the side of Zion, right? They are kind of wasting a bit of time while the junglers are getting their farm in. They cannot allow the Stlk members to just get farmed like that. Like, I think Bambi has actually gotten one of the jungle creeps from the Zion camp, and that is not what you want to see if you are from Zion as well. On the bot lane, the Vanix against Smelly Cat, so far it looks like Vanix is having a decent time, right? So let's take a look at the emblems as well. What would they be using? I want to look at the jungler itself. Turtle is going to come up, but they're going to start it.
The chains. Okay, yeah, Mango's going to back off here, but this is a bit of a commitment. Mind you, Mango is level 3, but let's talk again about the emblems here.
Yeah, so that purchase, that 10% discount, right, the mystery shop for the side of Stlk on then jungle. It's going to be very, very useful for them. They're going to be able to control the economy in front of Zion. They can get things started though.
Oh, but this turtle is a bit of an action. It's about half-life. Zion are doing a good job of just kind of chipping away, but nobody's really committed. Fasa has to back up. Turtle's about a quarter life here. Does need to be careful. Nice little damage here. Chu just trying to go for this one.
Oh!
And then Potato will get first blood, and the turtle has actually gone the way of Stlk in this case, but they did lose 2 in that one. Zion with a 2-0 on that one. Who came out on top?
I think Stlk came out on top, honestly, because the wave management by Stlk, they kind of even things out. At this point, yes, there's a slight goal advantage going to the side of Zion, but they have the experience on the side of Stlk, so which means that they can recover that goal pretty easily.
Okay. I mean, it's always about the kills or the objectives, like in terms of how you want to play this one out. Obviously, that was a bit of a 50-50. It was very, very close. But now Stlk trying to make their way around. Latte just putting out those alarm bots, making it difficult for any sort of rotation to happen here.
Yep, you can see Stlk starting to look for someone to kill. They want to get that pick up so they can run rampant on the lanes itself. And Zion, I think they have very good understanding of what's happening. They have definitely seen quite a lot of replays for Stlk as well. You can see the way they have positioned themselves at the bottom. The Karina is able to farm as well. But in the mid lane, it might not be the same case as Supergirl might get blocked out.
Yeah, he just barely got away. That barrier just a little bit off the mark in terms of distance, but does get the change. That's going to do some damage. The black shoes in combination onto Supergirl. It's going to be fine, but did take a lot of damage.
Well, it is super decent for the side of Stlk. They have kind of reset the lanes in the middle. This will allow the mid lane to be pushed out a little bit more for the side of Stlk while they apply pressure on the other lanes as well. Zion, you can see, doing exactly the same. They have 2 members up top trying to make sure that the top lane is going to have a very difficult time. But bear in mind, they are playing against a Lilia who has access to the Black Hoods.
Okay, let's break down a little bit of the items in terms of what you kind of sticks out at this point. Yes, it's a little bit early, but the fact that it's, 4 minutes in?
Yeah, and the fact that Karina is going more for a tanky build, right? So I like the fact that they're going tank. We have seen how Karinas in this game kind of fall early if they go into a full damage build. So I really like this build. But the fight might be getting started here. Zion, Stlk and Zion, they're like playing with us, right? They keep poking at each other, but they don't fight.
Yeah, you notice that Stlk has kind of been the aggressive team of the two. Oh, they get a nice little combination. They did get Supergirl, and Supergirl got caught out with Mango. They were holding hands, and they both got knocked up, and the damage was there. But Stlk, again, has been somewhat very aggressive in trying to just take control of the map here.
Yep, Zion needs to be very patient here. They are going to lock up Stlk in the middle here. Six is going to be caught out. And it looks like this could be a good fight for them to take. The objective, unfortunately, has been taken by Bambi, which means this is 2 consecutive turtles for the side of Stlk.
They got to do a better job of defending, making sure that they knew that they were there, but those 50-50s, you got to be super careful. If you're losing your jungle camps, especially early, it starts to snowball. Yes, it's like a 0.7K net worth lead, but these things kind of just get there, right? Getting yourself into a situation where the laning phase is not so rough for you is going to really put Zion in a better spot. They need to ensure that this laning phase goes well for them.
Yep, I would like to bring it back to Potato's items as well. Although he has built tank, he has 2 kills from his team already, and I think that kind of even things out at this point. But Potato has yet to secure objective for his team, and I think that is kind of scary at this point because Zion is starting to fall behind. It's not a very huge lead, it's just 1,000, but we all know the teams in FPL, they can really carry it up, and they might carry it out here.
Oh, Sink does get, again, Black Shoes to safety, but he's going to back off here. That was actually very close. The positioning of that one was a little bit off the mark, but now they're on the run. Supergirl has to stay alive, make sure that he's there. And Fasa was making a rotation. He might actually die for this. Okay, yeah, Fasa's not going to let him do that, right?
He still has access to his wild charge, so this is going to be something that he's going to be using to scare off the members of Zion. Potato going to fake his aggression there.
just you got to be a little worried, right? The fact that they're putting pressure on has to make them feel uncomfortable, right? At this point, it's still a bit of a 50-50 wash, but look at this net worth lead just starting to rise. Fasa, every single time, has realized that when the respawns happen with this Fenrir here, and they're going to look to steal it again, and I think they did, and that's another one. 2-man shot, Supergirl, Potato, they need to get something in return. Fasa is still taking. Latte is fighting with Chu, and they did get Fasa. That's a nice start, and they did get Sink as well, and oh dear Bambi, they're trying to get the crossbows. They're trying to do it. They do the damage. They've got 3, but the Blazing Duet just doing a whole bunch of damage. Smelly Cat does look like he's going to go down, and that's going to be 4 going the way of Zion.
Beautiful from the side of Zion. Okay, a nice shutdown there, but it is going to be a 3-for-1, and that's not a trade you want to see if you're from the side of Stlk. 2, I don't think he can kind of delay this. Both junglers are dead from both sides, so this is okay. But mid lane, they might have something else happening.
A little bit of pressure, more than anything else. But that was a really nice fight. I think that was one of those situations where, you know, Stlk tried to get a little cheeky. They took the Fenrir, they took what they can, but Zion was like, no. We're shutting the door. We're making sure that you pay for this. Every single time that you cross the river, they need to be like the trolls on the bridge, and you need to pay the toll.
Yep, they're at a very funny position now for the side of Zion and Stlk, right? Yes, they have taken 2 turtles on the side of Stlk, but if you take a look at the level difference between the two teams, it's kind of weird, right? You have Potato, who is at level 9 already, and then you have the members from Stlk who are still at level 7, level 8.
Yeah, it's you know, yeah, he's got a little bit of an advantage here. I mean, he's got tied with your Bambi in terms of levels, but we're going to give up the turtle here. What are your thoughts on just, you know, uncontested, if anything?
Yep, I mean, this top tier turret is going to be good. For them, it does open up a portion of the map, right? So they are going to try a cross-counter map play. They are going to take this trade right away instantly.
That was a lot of damage, and that was very quick. You took the turtle as well as the outer turret bottom, so again, just setting themselves up, right? You've taken the objective, you make sure that you have that. But again, let's talk a little bit about player's goal.
Yep, Smelly Cat, the person who is just in the game right now. Stlk definitely wants to see that on that claw as well. And if you take a look at the bottom of the net worth, Latte second last on that Diggy is not going to be able to help out that much. We need that time journey on the side of Zion. Hoping to work.
Why are you making fun of the support players, the roamers, right? Like, this is one of those situations where you know.
No. Let me explain to you why gold is important for the support as well. I'm not saying that he should farm. But the fact that he has this decent level as well, he needs to make a contribution as well. And how does the support player get farmed? When you get ganks, when you have your team get kills.
Okay. You look at you, just very difficult, man. I mean, I think he's doing a good job. He's 0-0-6, he's making plays happen. But as I say that, Stlk are making plays happen as they take the other turret in the bottom lane.
Both teams choosing a more passive-aggressive style of play, right? They don't really want to engage the fight, they want to take the tower instead. Not exactly the kind of move that I would like, but I think it's a very smart move, right?
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with that. I think it's just making sure that you're in the right situation. And look at how much damage they've been doing. making sure that the minion wave was there, tanking up most of it, doing a lot of structural damage. This is, of course, unhealable. This is one of those situations where, hey, it's just going to set me up for a later push down the road.
Yep, you were mentioning about the amount of damage you can put out on the structures itself, and I think it's really important because no matter how much Zion punches back, you can see there is still a 2,000 gold lead on the side of Stlk. But Forza, he's going to be safe.
Yeah, he walked into that and he saw all 4 of them and he was like, they're not wearing the same color jersey as I am, so we're going to back off here. But he's going to recall the safety. Now this creates a little bit of an opening. Mind you, Zion have been largely focusing on that mid lane, just trying to do what they can in terms of pressure. But now we've got the Lord up, and Zion Latte is maybe looking to just start this one off here.
Yep, this is going to be a huge game changer for Zion because this is the first time he will try to fight for the first slot in the playoffs. This is a do or die game. You do not want to lose this.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Nobody wants to lose at the end of the day. I think that this is the thing, right? If you lose that first game, there's so much momentum, right? It's a big hit on your ego, so you got to make sure that you do end up pulling as much as you can. But look at, they're doing some damage elsewhere. Look at Dyroth and Esmeralda in the top lane. I mean, they're just kind of skirmishing there.
Yep, it's the same strategy we've seen in the last week of regular season, right? They need to have proper wave management. You can see both of the EXP laners, they are going to be cutting waves on the other side. And while they're going to do the Lord's Dance in the bottom side of the river, that is the important part, right? Who is the first one to clear the wave for their EXP laner? And after that, we will see Chu down here going to be the first one to make a possible rotation. Who's going to get control of the Lord Pete? And once they have that control, that's where the fight's going to start. And we are going to be waiting for that very, very soon.
All right, one thing to take note of, Zion right now have 4 members with the Lord. They could potentially do this. Now it looks like there's going to be a mad dash because they realize that Stlk, that is, that they're outnumbered here. And the Lord and Potato will take that one. And that's going to be the first Lord. That's going to be a great one for them. Banix is getting low. He's trying to do some shots. And Supergirl are on the run. They need to get out there, but Banix does go down, and that's a huge one.
Yep, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Zion does get access to the Lord, so this is a breather for them at this point. Yes, if you take a look at the bot lane, it's kind of barren already, with the exception of that final tier 3 turret at the bottom lane. But now Zion, they have a bit more room to breathe with the Lord marching down top. And right now you can see Stlk doesn't need to care about the Lord now. What they need to do is to make sure that the wave can on their side.
Yeah, they need to fix things up. But okay, one of the keys to victory that we talked about in the pregame was that Banix needs to survive. The fact that he died there, like, yeah, I mean, it's the 11 minutes. He did kind of trade, but just overall, your thoughts on that one?
I think the mindset behind that was Banix playing for jungle previously, right? So if the jungler doesn't die, they have to fight time. So at this point, it's more of Potato. And Potato is doing a really good job, right? Sure, I've lost 3 turtles, but hey, what's more important, the Lord or the turtle?
Okay, I think it's funny. It's like, okay, do or die. Elimination game, relegation, everything is at stake, and Potato's like, nah, I got this one, I'm going in.
Yep, it's gonna be tough though, because Zion, they smell a bit of blood and they're already getting started across the map. Zion already evening out the tower control. They have the 3 turrets already, but Stlk, of course, at this point 4, but they are looking to create pressure for this one.
I think the crazy thing, okay, it looks like they're gonna end up, I'm not sure who ended up getting the Fenrir on that one. But look at this situation where the kills are going the way of Zion. The objectives are kind of a bit of a mix in that sense. But okay, Potato did get out of that. So that's going to be a huge one, but they're looking to try to go for this one. The Black Shoes keeping Stig alive. No, he's going to fall. Banix will secure that one, and it looks like they're going to back off. They've gotten what they've wanted, which is, of course, that kill as well as that turret.
Yep, beautiful. Burning the Black Boots. That's one. Killing Sync after he uses the Black Boots. That's a bonus for them as well. They still have plenty of time across the map. There's 60 seconds before the Lord comes out again. Zion, what they want to do now is to make sure that they suffocate Stlk, right? Stlk, you know they don't do that well under pressure, right? Smellycat is a new player. He does tend to choke a little bit towards the late game.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Well, you know, you talk about Smelly Cat. I'm going to talk a little bit about Stlk, right? I feel like in that case, he's been kind of aggressively using the black shoes to kind of get himself into a better position. But it's one of those situations where I think that you need to hold it. You need to ensure, you got to be worried about the control, the burst, all of these things that could potentially there. You need that second HP bar.
Yep, exactly. And I think Zion has an understanding of where they are standing at this point. They only have 5 turrets in their hand as well. You know, they were a little bit shaky at the start of the game, but now you can see they're really moving into their stride. And with the addition of Potato, Potato is definitely an experienced player. He is going to be the cornerstone of the team as proven so far.
You could feel the Potato effect, right? I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like Zion, this is kind of like that mid-game where Zion really struggles and they kind of falter, right? Their laning was fine, but the mid-game has always been that suffering. But as I say, that Stlk, he has the black shoes, he gets the safety, the positioning, keeping him alive, but super going in for this one. Latte will secure that one, and that's going to be another win. Stlk going down 0-3-1. Not a great game for him thus far.
Well, Zion are definitely in sync, both literally and figuratively, right? Because they are going to get their hands on the Lord as well if this continues.
Okay, but this is going to be a huge opening. 20 seconds where Stlk is not there. How is Stlk going to play this one? Tube does need to be careful. He's going to be fine. The dancing and the waltz, so to speak, is going to continue. Fossa around does provide a little bit of vision on this one. But again, it's all about Stlk. 6 seconds. Zion are not doing this quickly. They need to be very careful with how they proceed here.
Yep, Bambi waiting, Fossa waiting as well. Oh, they are going to change the target to Fossa. No, he might die for this.
Oh, he might get out of position, but can they steal the Lord? And oh dear, Bambi sneaks it underneath the nose, and Mongo does need to be careful. He's going to fall. Oh dear, Bambi secures that one, but he's going to fall in the end. And it looks like it's going to be a trade, but they've gotten 2 for 1, but the Lord.
Ooh, that was tough, man. I mean, can you see the players on screen? They're holding their breath, right? And that's stress for you. The Lord is not the important thing. The game is important, right? And the fact that they had to hold and stall out the Zion players there, I think that was a great call by the team of Stlk. Sure, Fossa was going to die. They allowed him to chase. And I think at this particular instance, Stlk was just a bit more disciplined compared to Zion.
Agreed. But it started with Fossa, right? He's just like, hey, look at me, guys. I mean, I'm going to attract all this attention. And Zion was like, whoa. And they had like ADD or whatever, and they went directly towards him and tried to burst him down. That was a situation where, hey, if I am objective-based, I need to make sure that I secure the Lord and make sure that it's locked down for me. Fossa has done a good job of attracting attention elsewhere. Blazing Duet, keeping Super Girls just a little bit low at least.
Smellycat already used his ultimate at this point.
Oh, the change! Smellycat has to flicker to safety. He's fine for now, but Zion, again, another skirmish.
Yeah, they have burned 2 ultimates on the side of Zion, so this is looking good. A good trade for them, right? Stlk burned 3 on that. And it looks like they can afford to push and make this pressure happen. They've already dealt with the loss, so this is going to be a tough situation for Stlk.
Yeah, Zion has done a good job of sticking to the game plan. What is it? I need to ensure that I'm killing the objectives, making sure that everything is there. And look at that. They've almost cleaned them all out. All we have left are the inhibitor turrets at this stage.
Yep, I mean, whatever we remember from regular is literally out of the book now. Both teams are super
Potato, he's all by himself. It's 1 versus 3. There's the shield that keeps him alive. They do have the knockup, and that's going to keep him alive. But Supergirl on the wrong side of this one. He flickers. He's going to get Blazing Duetted, but he has eventually falls in the end. Smellycat will secure this one. And now do they have the damage? Mango is already down. Latte's next on the list. And Vanix is going to be on the target list. The priority list. Gets Ozzy go down. No, Vanix is continuing to fight. Smellycat goes down. Vanix eventually falls. And it's going to be Potato all by himself.
Oh my goodness!
White.
Stlk, they have done it! This is the time to shine. That's 20 seconds at least before any of the members of Zion are going to be coming up. And this looks like Stlk's game for sure. They have secured the first win in this best of 3. They are 1 step closer to knocking Zion out of this competition forever.
What a game. What a team fight. The game was completely on a knife's edge almost the entire game. The fact that they won the team fight is like, maybe you lost 1 or 2, but you got to retreat. You got to give yourself a chance. It was a situation